It's a big good afternoon to the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club for a big 7-race program coming to you today. We're in the ring ahead of race number 1. It is the McCreed's Classic Jewelers Maiden over 1,100 metres. Chrishane Warren is finding all of our winners today. Good afternoon to you, Chrishane.
Afternoon to you, Michael, and everyone joining us.
Triggerfish goes around a very short favourite here, $1.45, and is the first horse we'll touch on. Peter Fernie is the trainer, and Clint Johnston-Porter not riding yesterday. Unfortunately fell ill at Belmont yesterday. Chris Parnham is his replacement rider.
Yeah, about to go out onto the track. They're doing their preliminaries. A lot of these are stirred up with the bit of the wind, Michael. So very important to have a look at some of these. It's with the clerk of the course, Trigger Finger. Really much a jump and run type. I think 3 weeks between runs is ideal, and it looks to be on the fresh side. Gate 1 leads and should be awfully hard to beat number 1. Trigger Finger.
The 2, Aiden's Choice, has his first start for Gary Bowen. Brandon Louis rides.
Yeah, has shown glimpses of form from the 5 starts that it has had formerly with Ross Price. Just want to have a look today. The blinkers on and the winkers off, but looked okay.
Notable Drifter is the 3. Opened up $3.70 second favourite. Now at to $6, so an each way price, albeit only a pay 1-2 event for Ash Grace and Jordan Turner.
Yeah, I'm surprised there, Michael, because he looked very well in condition, this Exceed and Excel type. And this is for the bowlers, the Kalgoorlie Bowling Club Syndicate. The red earmuffs were on the way out, and I thought paraded very well. Another one with good acceleration out of the gates, and one that I think is improving with each run, Exceed Express.
The 4, Mr Snips, has his first start here in Kalgoorlie for new trainer Joanna Offen. Lisa Staples is the rider.
Yeah, just looked a little bit hairy in condition, probably what you'd expect. Hasn't raced since the 2nd of October last year, so would probably need this run. Mr Snips.
Big odds 5, Ishinka View, 40-1, Helen Harding and Keshaw Durun combine.
Yeah, hard here, placed a couple of times over the short course, but others with better opportunities.
Well, I said that Exceed Express had drifted from $3.70 to $6. Our 6 here, Timely Advice, has drifted $3.80 to $7. Somewhat surprising, Neil Della and Lakdar Rumley combine.
Yeah, this Vert Decree filly, she was playing up in the yard. She has got a tendency to do that. Just sweated up a little bit too over at the barriers, but look, she's getting better and better, starting to chase the speed instead of setting it. Only a small point size filly, but should eventually pinch one day. Timely Advice.
It's all one-way traffic here. The 1, Trigger Finger, $1.90 was the opening quote with Tab Touch, into $1.45, was as short as $1.24 at one stage. The 2, Aiden's Choice, 6 out to $7.50. 3, Exceed Express, $3.70 out to $6. 4, Mr Snips, solid at 40-1. Ishinka View, the 5, solid at 40-1. And again, drifting is our 6, Timely Advice, $3.80 out to $7. Chrishane, are you with this favourite here in the first?
Sure am, Michael. I thought it was the best bet on the card, even though it's $1.45, very short week maiden, and I think the 3 weeks between runs on that fresh side. I think Luke Fernie did have the horse and opted to go to York, but that was back 2 starts ago. And then butted it up here behind Flober, only beaten 2 lengths. So I think a better horse kept on the fresh side, jump and run type, and if it leads, it should be winning. Number 1, Trigger Finger. From 3, Exceed Express. Another one that is going to pinch one eventually, similar to 6, Timely Advice, and 2, Aiden's Choice. Just want to have a look at him today. 1, 3, 6 and 2, Michael, ahead of race number 1 on the card.
1, 3, 6 and 2 for Chrishane in the McCreed's Classic Jewelers Maiden. Very cold conditions here, a bit of a breeze as well. No rain yet. We're racing on a good 4, and I think it's a maximum of 18 degrees today, but it feels a little bit colder than that. Chrishane, did you have a best bet on the program for the remainder of the seven race card?
No, I thought it was a real tough day at the office in terms of form and punting, Michael, but the last 3 legs are very entertaining, and you should find value there, the last few legs. But no, I thought it was an open house affair in terms of punting this afternoon at Kalgoorlie.
Natasha Faithful leads the Jockey Challenge today at $2. From Lactar Rumley at $4.20. Keshel Duran $9.50. So Chris Parnham not in the market as far as I can see here. He replaces Clint Johnston Porter, who unfortunately fell ill with a migraine at Belmont yesterday. Royce Newton is calling all of the action from the Goldfields here today. He'll be with you in a few moments to call them home in the first.
Yeah, thanks, gents. Also, thanks, Leia from Tab Radio. And these runners starting to come forward now. Won't take too long with just the 6. Triggerfinger, your favourite, coming along now at 150 with Tab Touch, 160 on Tote. Coming off that second behind Flowbar last start. Still pretty short in this field. Now with Peter Fernie locally as Exceed Express goes forward. Joins the line with Jordan Turner in the saddle. Interestingly, his father, Troy Turner, is named on a couple of rides up at Roburn today. Okay, I Shink of You comes along. Here comes Mr Snips from the Joe Offen yard down at Esperance. So Timely Advice and Aiden's Choice, the newcomer to Gary Bowen's yard, to come forward and complete the line. The first of 7 here today, main quaddy legs races 4 through 7, competitive racing for the remainder of the card. But we've got a short one here in the first with Triggerfinger at $1.50 as the red lights have been illuminated. Stand by, 1,100 metres ahead of them, the first from Kalgoorlie. And the line stands well, signal given. And they're off racing in the first. Triggerfinger, the favourite, bounced out beautifully. Found the lead with ease. Now working around the outside, Mr Snips to second. Being followed next of all by Timely Advice, the filly on the outside of Exceed Express 4th. They opened up a further 3 lengths into Aiden's Choice, who strides together with I Shink of You at the tail. 7.50 to run as they head to the Charles Street side of the course, and it's Triggerfinger doing it nicely out in front. Has settled on a piece of cotton. 3/4 the good to Mr Snips running second. A further 4 then to Exceed Express with Timely Advice, just given a reminder. A further 3 then to Aiden's Choice, and at the tail it's I Shink of You. So on the point of the turn with 400 metres to run. Triggerfinger the inside. Mr Snips just edging closer the outside, putting a bit of pressure into the race early on. In fact, it's Mr Snips who takes over. Went past the 150 favourite with ease. Triggerfinger second. They were followed by Timely Advice and then Exceed Express. But have a look at Mr Snips. Mr Snips pulling away in the final stages. Aiden's Choice down the outside late, but it's all Mr Snips. A bit of an upset in the first. Defeats Aiden's Choice, third in Triggerfinger. They were followed in next of all by Timely Advice, Exceed Express, and the last to greet the judge was I Shink of You. Number 4. $34.80 on Tote. A very rough result here, and an easy victory with Lisa Staples in the saddle for trainer Joe Offen. 3 starts before today and has never finished closer than 7th. Admittedly in tougher assignments, but Mr Snips, that was impressive. 104.97 the winning gallop. Triggerfinger was a shot duck at the 300 metre mark. Couldn't respond whatsoever, and Aiden's Choice, a nice first run for the Bowen stable locally here, running into second. Triggerfinger gets third, the 1 and 6 gets fourth in Timely Advice, who was under pressure a long way from home. But this horse has won extremely easily in the first here from Kalgoorlie. 3 lengths by a long neck. The margins 104.97. Joe Offen and Lisa Staples combining in the first. By Snippetson from Never's Show, owned by Mrs Ebot and A-Bot. Number 4 breaks maiden status at start number 4. 2 gets second, Aiden's Choice for Gary Bowen and Brandon Louis, owned by Brad Bowen, Miss N South, the Book Club Syndicate, Miss S Hurst, Mrs M McIntosh, Miss C Burns, also Gary Bowen, Miss R Hutchinson, Ashok Parekh, G Lynch, and Mrs K Hurst. Aiden's Choice by Vert Degrees from Champagne Bubbles, and Brandon Louis in the saddle there. Number 1 Triggerfinger gets third. Peter Fernie and Chris Barnum combining by Russian Revolution from Catch You Statue, laid owned by Luke Fernie, K. Doak, J. Doney. Also B. Higgins, WRS Syndicate, Dominic Sheed, J. Mascos, T. McCarthy, S. Taylor, L. Brayshaw, P. Flay, B. Flay, K. Walsh and G. Byron, and fourth in was the 6th. Timely advice for Neil Della and Lacta Ramoli. 4, 2, 1 and 6, the interim numbers there after the running of race number 1, an upset to start the card. Race 2 is next, the Blue Spec Drilling Maiden over the 1620. 1:20 is the start time. Chris Parnham goes on to number 5, White House Gossip, a field of 9 to run in the second from Kalgoorlie, getting underway at 1.